I think the streaming ratings will go very high.
And by streaming, I definitely mean liquids coming out of your body.
Liquids all over the place, drenched.
Hello and welcome to Incomplete Geeks, a gay geek podcast. I'm John, that's Nick. After this recording, we are holding our meeting at Omnipotent City to discuss our upcoming orgy. Just like all the gods do. How are you, Nick? How are you? Why are you laughing? I just want to bring you into it. This is episode 11. We're talking about something that we have been dying to talk about for a number of weeks. Thor, Love and Thunder.
Thor, Love and Thunder Thighs.
Love and Thunder Thighs. I have a brief story to tell you before we get started because I think it's fun.
Yes.
As you may know, if you listened to the last episode, I've recently been on a holiday. I was in holiday in Bulgaria. Now, in Bulgaria, I was happily just walking along the beach and through like cities, and I found a Thor poster. And of course, in Bulgaria, you have the Cyrillic alphabet. And in the Cyrillic alphabet, the letter R, the letter that makes the sound R, looks like what we call a P in English, right? What are you snorting at?
I'm looking at the photo you sent me, and I can't believe I didn't notice it when you sent it to me. I just saw like,
so I took a photo of it. Yeah, it's
yay! Go to the cinema and watch it while you're on your holiday. It didn't occur that it looks like it's a giant poster with Chris Hemsworth and the word top underneath.
Top, yeah. So it looks like the word top. Because obviously THs aren't really a thing in a lot of languages. So in Bulgarian, it's just like a picture of Chris Hemsworth and Natalie Portman kneeling and the word top at the bottom. And then
we noticed you from the other side of the bar. We're wondering if we could get you a drink. Like, fantastic. I love it.
Yeah. I'm a top.
All right. Jeez. It's like, I'm a top, guys. Just so you know. None of that. I'm not.
Did you know? Did you know?
Yes. I feel like we talked about it before.
I am a verse because I'm an adult.
Oh, I'm not because I'm lazy.
That's from Q-Force. Have you seen Q-Force?
I have seen Q-Force.
Yeah.
I don't remember them saying that.
It's when Twink is like, yes, I'm a Twinkie top with a gun. And then the main character, I forget his name, he's like,
Sean Hayes.
The Sean Hayes character, he's like, I says something like really serious and then says, and I'm a verse because I'm an adult.
See, that's bottom shaming and top shaming.
Because that's bottom shaming. Nothing wrong with being a top or a verse or a bottom.
Or a side.
Or a side, or a middle, or an in between. Or exactly. the cream of the Oreo.
Oh. No. Creamed all over my Oreo. Sorry, no.
Welcome to
Hemsworth can. The cream in my Oreo.
Speaking of Chris Hemsworth.
Creamy Hemsworth.
Let's talk about Thor, Love and Thunder. And the most important thing we need to talk about first is Thor's buttocks. You know, the
most important thing is spoilers.
Oh yeah, by the way, if you haven't seen Thor, Love and Thunder, what the fuck are you doing? Go watch it. Go watch it.
Go watch it, guys. Go and watch it.
Just go watch
Before we talk about his butt, should we just say, like, initial reactions? Like, overview vibes of it? Like, what would you say?
I don't remember any other part of the movie except for the butt.
I mean, that's absolutely fair. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, bye. Thanks for listening. You can follow us.
The butt was great. If you do like this episode or like our show in general, one thing that would be really helpful is if you give us a like. If you give us 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, give us a like on Spotify, give us a follow so that you know when our new episodes come out. We're going to try a new format where we do maybe two a week, just because we have so much to talk about. But it does help us out, so please do that. It just takes like 2 seconds. Just do it.
Please and thank you. Do it now.
Yeah. Do it right now. And if you have any comments at the end of this episode, you can email us at incompletegeekspodcast@gmail.com, and you can give us some follows on the social medias, which we'll say at the end of the episode, because let's get on with the content.
You have to spell it out, and it takes ages. So Thor, what did you think of it? Did you like it?
I liked it. I didn't think it was great.
Okay.
It was good. Like, I think a lot of people who I speak to didn't like it are not giving it enough credit. I think a lot of it is good. I think there's too much of it that was probably avoidable bad. Like, I thought there were things that were done in it that I was like, well, you didn't need to do that, and it made it a little bit worse.
Okay.
But overall, it was good. It's clearly not the best Thor film, but it was better than Doctor Strange, I guess, in terms of
It's way better than Doctor Strange.
The recent one, obviously. The first Doctor Strange is amazing.
No, the first Doctor Strange is supremely average.
Oh, no,
Dull.
I disagree. I think it's great. I think it's done well.
Arrogant rich white guy stomps around and appropriates East Asian culture.
Sure,
Anyway.
Yeah, he does appropriate, but he does learn and does grow and is
blah, blah, blah. Anyway.
This is not what this episode is about.
Fuck off, Doctor Strange. I will say, this is something I heard Katya say on, and it's stuck with me, and I think it's very relevant for MCU. Expectations are just premeditated resentments. Let that sink in.
Yeah.
And the problem is we cannot get away from the fact that we have had some of the most incredible fucking films. And I don't think anything's going to be like Endgame ever again. And then we got like No Way Home, which was a surprisingly fucking brilliant film. So everyone's got such high expectations that every Marvel release has to be revolutionary, groundbreaking, changes film forever. And it really fucking doesn't. This is a fun action film. It's a superhero film. It's fun. I didn't want something where I'm like, oh, what's the next character going to be? Oh, what's this linked to? Oh, is that an Easter egg? I just want to watch a good film. And it was. It was funny in all the Taika Waititi places. It had action, it had heart, and it was just... And Chris was just good. So shut up!
Had a bum.
It absolutely had a butt.
Had a butt. We'll get
unpixelated butt.
Yes, it was unpixelated. It was a clear butt, and everybody's eyes are right on that. Now, I want to say as well, I don't want people to think that I didn't like it, because I definitely did like it, and I totally agree with you that people should not have expectations. I don't think I did, but I do. I'm looking at it as an actor who understands the filmmaking process a little bit, and I see choices that are made that I don't think serve the story. Like, yes, totally fun. It's totally enjoyable. It's fun. It's silly. It does have heart completely, but I don't know if the parts. I feel like some parts were shoehorned in to be silly and just to be fun that didn't serve the story, and I have an issue with that. But those issues are not, they don't make it like a bad film, and I don't think I expected it as well. But for instance, I can think of moments where I can tell that Chris Hemsworth is ad-libbing, and I feel like there was a moment in Chris Hemsworth's acting history where they realized that he's a funny guy, he's a funny actor, and they wanted to do that more. So the bits in, for example, and I don't want to make this a comparison like I wanted it to be that way. But in Ragnarok, when he makes a funny story about him and Loki, like, it was genuinely funny. Like, it just was a surprising story. In Thor: Love and Thunder, he's telling a story about some snake and it doesn't really work, or he's doing this weird handshake with Chris Pratt, and it's like, you're just trying too hard to do this. Like, just let it go. If you want Chris Hemsworth to be funny, let him be naturally funny. Don't try to make him do funny things. It just screamed a bit of pushing it for me. Now, I'm fully aware that I'm being super picky, but they did stand up. They did stand up for me. Or like when he and Valkyrie are talking and he's pretending not to be sort of gaga over Jane Foster. I'm just like, just be the character. Like, let the character tell the story. Let your, awkwardness or whatever be part of it instead of playing it too hard. I felt that parts were played too hard. But
I didn't.
Okay. That's fair. So like, the parts where, like, the silly parts, did you feel like, for example, let's take the example of like the weird handshake that Thor is trying to give Star-Lord. Like, does that make it more endearing to the character? Like, they're just sort of goofing around? Like, what does that mean about that part of the story or the character? Or did you not think about it?
What are you talking about?
In the beginning.
What did that mean for his character? He's just doing a silly, awkward handshake. Like, chill out.
That's fine. So
it was
just a silly handshake.
Yeah. I will say that the Guardians of the Galaxy were completely fucking pointless. We did not need to pay their salaries to be in that intro bit.
Yeah,
And Chris
that was really
Pratt looks like shit. I mean,
odd.
yes, he's next to Hemsworth, but he was in the other films before. What the fuck has he done? Like, he has aged 10 years and looks garbage in that film. He should have paid extra for some makeup. Oh, pray the Jesus away. Pray the dark circles away, Chris. Yeah, they seemed kind of pointless. I mean, I know he left with them, but I don't think anyone gave a shit about them.
No,
I don't know.
I mean,
Did they? Did they?
I don't think so. But I mean, on one hand, it's
No.
not a Guardian of the Galaxy film, but also they're just there to complain. I feel like, yeah. Oh, and here's another. Okay, I will mention this, and then I'll go on to things that I liked about the film. But
Okay.
like the two goats,
Loved them.
I hated them.
I fucking loved them. I loved them. I didn't stop every single time they came on. I thought it would get annoying. I laughed every single time they screamed. Loved it.
Yeah, I was annoyed. I was like, okay, I get it. They're screaming goats, and I feel like they're just playing on that one random YouTube or the GIF or the meme or whatever with a screaming goat. Okay, again, I get it.
The Taylor Swift goat.
The Taylor Swift goat, yeah. And I was like, I got it, guys. I don't need this in my face constantly. I really, really liked the gag where they run into the moon when it was like suddenly closer than you thought it was, and they just run it poof, into the moon, and then they sort of on the moon suddenly in the Shadow Realm. Do you remember that part? I thought that was really clever. Anyway, yeah, the goats annoyed me, but I was just like, oh, we're just trying too hard to be funny. I don't know. I don't know if that's just my.
But it's supposed to be funny. I think not for you.
wasn't.
Like I know you're coming at it from a different place. I think a lot of criticisms on the internet with Thor is because Thor is their hero. He's the giant beefcake straight white guy, and they've kind of turned him more and more into a himbo this film, where he's like goofy and silly and that sort of stuff. So, and at least they made him hot, because God, they were pissed off that they made him fat in Endgame. They hated that. He's their like perfect man vibes, and when they make him more silly and like letting women characters kind of take charge, like it pisses people off. Like, they're like, "Oh, you should be like this way." And yeah, that's a lot of the reaction to it. Is I feel like.
Yeah, I get that, and I think that when he does, when they're doing interesting things with his character, I really like that. I think that does really well. So when he gets fat, that like because he's got sort of like this weight of this trauma or whatever, it's like that works because it makes sense. I don't care that he's fat. I think it works for the character. I don't care that he's silly because that's working. He's trying to find himself, but I think that I don't know. Something just didn't jive right with me. I was just kind of like it was. He's trying too hard to find himself, and he's not buying into it hard enough.
But I think that's part of his journey. That's the whole point of it, right? Like he kind of references the fact that he was always this serious prince warrior, which he was in the first two films, and then stuff changed, and he doesn't know. Like, how do you go from being that person? It's like there is no Asgard. There's no royal family anymore. His whole identity's gone. It's like, am I funny? Sure. Am I silly? Am I an Asgardian of the galaxy? Am I an Avenger? Like, I thought that whole kind of awkward humor felt quite good and relatable. Like, when you go into a new crowd or a new job, you're like, ooh, what kind of... Am I this funny person here? Or am I this kind of character when you're like in a group? And it feels like he was trying on different things.
Yeah.
So
I suppose. I mean, I think that if there was obviously we're being super picky now, but like if you were to be awkward and sort of realize that he's being awkward and maybe that's not working, like it didn't come across that he was trying different things to see what fit. He was just being silly. He was just being awkward, and I don't think it. Like I don't want to say that he's
way too much into it.
Yeah, probably. It's
a fun film.
So it is definitely a fun film, and I loved the action sequences. I loved the way that they use, and I've mentioned this before as well. I love the way that they use the powers and the combination of powers. I love the introduction of the villain's powers, which we'll get to in a second. But the fact that he can like travel through shadows and his movements were really sort of creepy as well. Most of the fight scenes were great, actually, until the very end when Jane Foster shows up at the very end with Mjolnir, and then they sort of like just demolish the bad guy, and like I was like, well, he's not putting up a fight now suddenly. So there was a little bit of a bump there, but overall, the fight sequence.
Did you like this film? It really doesn't sound like you did.
I have a lot of issues with it. Maybe it was expectations. I was expecting to love the film, and I didn't love the film.
It's hard not to because Ragnarok worked so well because Thor: The Dark World was just a pile of piss. So when Taika was given the reins to Ragnarok, it fucking blew our minds, and it was incredible because our expectations were nil, and it was brilliant, a brilliant film. But now our expectations are here. We just focus on all the ways that it wasn't Ragnarok. I suppose. But it can't be, which is so normal. That's such a huge part of watching the MCU now, is trying to fucking control your expectations. I mean, Doctor Strange 2 was still bollocks, but my expectations were sky high because Wanda was the lead.
Wanda was there.
So, and they just made it even more worse, which isn't right.
I guess anyway. I didn't have. I mean, did you? I want to ask you if you had any expectations, because for me, I didn't have any sort of specific expectations, but I expected to be blown away by it, and that's probably fair. I wasn't really conscious of it. I totally get what you mean.
I wanted it to be funny. Like, what are the films that we'd had before then? Doctor Strange 2, massive expectations, horribly depressed.
Well,
I don't know what order we were going in.
Well, before that, we had TV shows. Like WandaVision, no expectations at all, and it blew us away. And then that kind of led us into Winter Soldier, and expectations were...
Then we had high expectation because of WandaVision, and it was like, boring. Eternals, I had huge expectations for that.
Really?
Bummer.
See, I didn't have expectations for that, and I do kind of like that film.
It's such a huge part of it. Spider-Man, again, like Thor, I was like, I'll just go watch a Spider-Man film. I like Spider-Man. It'll be fun. We'll just do some Spider-Man.
Which one?
No, all of them. But like No Way Home, you're like, yeah, just go watch Spider-Man. It'll be fun. And it was fucking incredible. And that, even if I was expecting it would have been great. But I wasn't expecting anything like that. And it blew me away. And this, I was like, I just want a fucking fun film. Yeah. I don't want to expect anything from it. I don't want to overthink. Because I spent so much of the last few films thinking, like, oh, which character are they talking about? Oh, are they going to introduce it now? What's the post-credit? And it's like, you're halfway through the film. Just watch the film. I just didn't want to be obsessed with it. And because I like Thor, but he's not my favourite, I know Taika will be funny. It's like, it'll be funny. Want to see some action. I'm looking forward to seeing Natalie Portman buff.
Yeah.
Done. And they did all that. So, win.
Fine.
For me.
Yeah.
But yeah, expectations does seem to be the premeditated resentments towards the MCU, and that's not their fault. That's our fault as fans. We need to manage our own expectations. Not you specifically. I'm referring to
anybody. Like, I'm trying to think about other films where I tell other people, like, who say that they've expected one thing and they didn't get it. I mean, you can say that to a certain degree about Wanda in Doctor Strange, where they were expecting some sort of resolution with WandaVision. And it wasn't met. Now, I think there's a fair amount to be said.
It was also a bad film.
There's a fair amount to be said about the poor script,
bad writing.
But obviously, we are expecting something that we didn't get, I suppose.
And there are very rare occasions where you expect something to be perfect and it delivers. Infinity War and Endgame will forever be that weird bucked trend where you expect. Like I've been having fan theories about comics since I was 12 years old. It's like, the fact that I could picture these things, like, what if, like, Carol just showed up and saved Tony, and then she shows up and saves Tony? Like, it's that weird situation where they managed to give us pretty much everything we could want. Now we expect that for everything.
Yeah, I suppose. But I mean, like, when you have expectations like that, what you just said there about Captain Marvel showing up to save Tony, that's like a minor thing. Like, if it didn't happen, you wouldn't have, like, hated the film.
No, at all. But they did happen, and then she showed up, and then, like, everything they gave, everything brilliant. But anyway, I think we're spoiled. We're so fucking spoiled that we've had amazing films so far. If one isn't fucking legendary, I resent it, or I'm like, we could have explored this character more. It's like, a break, a reset. I'm worried that they're just. It's only going to get worse as they increase the number of films and TV shows. The TV shows are just making us complacent because there's never a second where we don't have stuff on.
I don't know what they would do if we didn't have TV shows. But also, I think that the TV shows, because the number of minutes of story that are in a TV show are like triple the number of minutes that are going to be in a film. Like, there's a lot of stuff
Yeah.
there, and they can do a lot more with it.
But again,
Yeah,
expectations
expectations.
are for it to be another film, and it's not. Like, I'm worried about She-Hulk because I think
Hmm.
I'm going to have massive expectations because
Yeah,
I
of
think that
course.
character's
Yeah.
awesome and there's so many cool things they can do with it. If it's fine, I'll be like
It was like,
disappointed.
it was okay. We can think about like even the Netflix shows. We had the first season of Daredevil, which was out of nowhere. It worked. It wasn't even like
Blew my
story
mind.
wise, content wise. It was great. And then of
And
course
Jessica Jones. But then
Jessica
season 2
Jones.
and season 3, you have
Yeah.
expectations, and then you're
Yep.
like,
Yep.
oh, we've done
The
this, we've done this, we've
curses.
done this. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I want to. You could also. I want to emphasize that I did like the film. Maybe I should just watch it again and just sort of be like, okay, now that I've got my expectations out of the way, I know
Yeah.
exactly what to expect. I can just watch it to have a fun time. Maybe
The
when it comes
Disney
out on
Plus
like Disney
rewatch
Plus.
is a
Yeah.
yeah. The
Yeah.
Disney Plus rewatch is a big deal.
I'm doing that with Doctor Strange this week, actually. Yeah, I think I will. But
I feel that came out way too quickly. Like they put it on Disney Plus way too quickly. Like,
they
oh
were like,
wait,
"Ooh, people are talking about it. We better just push it out."
get it on. Like it doesn't make them any more money getting it onto Disney Plus quickly.
No.
It will be there eventually. So anyway, this
And
is not
actually,
listening, so.
I'm gonna watch it with a friend who isn't a Marvel geek, and he just wants to, so we'll see what he thinks about it. It hasn't seen any of the TV shows either. It's gonna be interesting.
I wouldn't recommend starting with Doctor Strange 2.
Oh no, he's seen like only things that I've dragged him to the cinema to see, and I think the first Marvel film he ever saw was Black Widow. And
I love
I just
Black
said,
Widow.
"Hey, do you want to go see this film?" And he said, "Sure," because he doesn't really get asked very often. And took him to it, and I was asking him about his Marvel experience. He had zero Marvel experience. I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me? The first film you're gonna watch is this one?" He's like, "Yeah," and he liked it. He thought it was good.
Low expectations. Again, Black Widow, I
Mm-hmm.
had no expectations of that film, and I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I had no expectation. I think we figured it out now. So let's talk about Thor rather than talking
Fine.
about ourselves.
Yeah, we're gonna go off on
Let's
tangents
talk
if
about
we're not careful.
Thor.
Let's talk
Um,
about Jane, because
yeah,
Jane
again,
Foster.
it's an
What?
sorry. Again, it's an expectation. And I was talking to my brother, who's a massive like Ragnarok fan. He was saying that he felt that her origin story was rushed and they didn't have enough time with it. Whereas I, based on the trailers, expected her to show up in the first scene as Thor already, that we wouldn't get any of her backstory. So for me, going through that introduction to her, seeing and all that kind of stuff, felt very get more room for her character to breathe. But if you expected it a lot, that kind of thing.
What do you mean? Do you
I
mean
love
like
it.
her when you say her intro? Do you mean in this film when she's like in the
I thought,
chemotherapy
show
chair?
up as Thor, and that's it. It didn't
Oh,
occur to me that they'd be doing the cancer story. I don't know why I didn't think about that. I just thought that would be it. But then we got to see a little bit more of her backstory, and I thought that was great. And then I was like, oh, of course she's got fucking cancer. And then it pulled me more in like the
mm-hmm,
emotional side because I
mm-hmm.
wasn't expecting her to have that shitty emotional journey.
Yeah, I guess
So
thinking back on it, I'm the same way because I had no idea how they were going to introduce her. I don't know anything about the character of Jane Foster Thor, and I was like just absorbing. I was like, "What's next?" Because I did realize that she hasn't been around, and I kind of feel like what happened to this character, and we do get a little bit of sort of fill in, and I was like, "Oh, okay," and I thought it worked.
that
Yeah,
was great.
and I loved when she shows up as Thor. I think she looked amazing. Love that helmet. And she's like ripped as well. And I was like, good for you, Natalie Portman. You've come back. I
That's
don't know
right.
why you were gone, but well done.
Well, she left because she didn't like Dark World, and they were going to have Patty Jenkins direct it, and then they couldn't agree with that, so they got a different director in. So she's like, no.
Oh,
Anyways,
was
fine.
it?
Apparently, that's the rumor. The rumor has it. I liked the way that she was also quite goofy as Thor.
Yeah,
As
I did like that. Yeah.
it's like I'm super strong, so I'm like, let's fight. I thought that was cool that they didn't keep her
Yeah, that's the point.
the
Yeah. She was
serious,
so eager.
naggy scientist. I thought she was just enjoying her life, or however
Yeah.
much there was left of it. Oh, that was great. I thought
That's
it was a
fine.
good thing.
Yeah, I like that as
She did a
well.
really good job.
My memories of Jane Foster obviously I try to delete all memory of Dark World completely, but like even in the
Yes.
first one, it's just a bit of like, oh, I'm like the girlfriend, the potential girlfriend, like,
Yep.
but I'm gonna be smart as well, and I'm just like, whatever. I'm not interested. I'm not invested in this story.
No, not at
But
all.
this one, I was like, yeah, let's do it. Like, I
Great.
dug it.
Yeah, and then she got stuff wrong. Like she's like, I'm gonna go look, and then smashed through the roof, and then came back and
Yeah,
couldn't find it. Like I loved it. Like
yeah.
it's
So
very
that kind of like,
him. It was very much that kind of yeah.
well, the thing is like comparing her now to her goofiness with Thor's goofiness, hers makes sense when his didn't really make sense. Like she's learning. She's like,
Disagree.
I know, I
I
know,
disagree.
but yeah. Sometimes it worked, most of the time it didn't. His goofiness when trying to like sort of woo Mjolnir back, that was fun, but then they like did it more than once, and I was like, okay, I got it, fine, I get it.
Other people loved it, so
Yeah. Ooh, Stormbreaker's jealous. I get it. We're anthropomorphizing weapons now, I suppose. But
people love
yeah.
that. Jealous Stormbreaker. That's fucking brilliant when you just show that.
But then at the very end, he goes back to Mjolnir anyway. So poor Stormbreaker just discarded for the original.
His daughter has Stormbreaker, so that's fun.
So yeah. Anything else you want to say about Jane? Because I quite liked it. I am sad that she died. Actually, I'm like, oh,
It was wonderful. It was a great death. She did it well. The fact that she's like, no, I'm not going to go, and then she's like, shit, of course I have to, and then she turned to the gold dust. I was like, yay,
Yeah.
she got what she deserved, and he's like, I'm not going to fight you. I'm going to spend the time. I thought the heart was there. I really liked all of it.
Yeah.
Cool. If you didn't, I'm sorry. Whatever.
No, I did like that part. I did like the fact that he sort of Thor in the end when they get to eternity, he just kind of gives up, said, "Fine, you win, Gore," and just says,
and choose love.
Choose love.
Yeah,
I get that, but that's a good segue into the villain because my main issue.
Obviously, no. I had a moment. I have one more thing to say.
Okay, go for it.
Like not criticism, not gripe either. Like something that I would have liked to see.
Bump.
Yeah, niggle. Nick's niggle. Oh no, gross. I loved the implied relationship between Valkyrie and Jane. I wish we'd had more time with them on screen.
When you say the implied
more time. The implied friendship, like they knew each other.
Oh yeah.
In Valhalla before Hemsworth showed up, so like
in Asgard, you mean?
You know, yeah, they had that in New Asgard. Yeah, what did I say? Valhalla,
Valhalla, yeah.
Yeah, and that friendship, that empowered female friendships, like I would have liked a little bit more of them maybe fighting together or something. I know we couldn't, because I also enjoyed the fact that it wasn't 3 fucking hours long. It was just a nice film. It's like it doesn't need to be 2 hours 45. Like that.
Yeah.
So I'm sad. That would have been cool. They cut out the bit where Tessa Thompson licks the knife. I was like, that's amazing. Like she is like a lesbian.
Oh yeah, that was in the trailer, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that's what happened. So it's my only kind of gripe, but not really. Like that would have been cool to see more of.
It would have been cool to see. I feel like they did cut a lot out of this film as well for whatever reason. Yeah. Like there was no, and I get why there was no like transformation scene of Jane into Thor.
Yeah, I like that. I didn't want to see that. I don't want to see the origin story where it's like, oh my god, I can't believe this. I don't want to see that shit anymore.
All you see is like the stones just like jiggling, and they explain it really well. Like I get it. It's not even in your face, but we know as a viewer, the characters don't even know, and that's totally fine. Like I think that worked really well. And the next time you see her, she's like fighting as Thor, and I was like, yeah, done well.
So let's talk about the villain.
I wanted more.
More. God, are you ever happy?
No, I want a perfect story.
not.
Here's what I missed about the villain. Like I said, fight scenes were great, except for the very last one. The moves were interesting. It made sense. They didn't do unnecessary details. They didn't have extraneous stuff. Were lacking. Except he just wasn't dangerous. I don't understand. Like, I hear rumors that they cut out a lot of his sort of actual god butchering scenes, which I think is a detriment because obviously, on the one hand, you want to have a fun film, sure, but also if he's gonna be like the main threat of it, like make him threatening. He just wasn't threatening. He just comes across the way that he's written on the screen. He kills one god and then suddenly he's after Thor, and we hear stories, but that's not good storytelling. We want to actually see it done and understand the threat. The glimpses on the Guardians of the Galaxy screen, that's not really good enough either. It's like, let's watch a scene of him killing, let's see how villainous he is. Because as it is, he's just somebody who's gonna kill Thor. And that's, story-wise, that's all it is. And we're told how threatening he is, and it feels a bit lacking. So...
I totally understand that. I feel it is part of the MCU's wider problem is getting villains that have real threat. A lot of the time, the villains in Marvel films feel, like you said, unthreatening. Whether that's because they want to keep their PG rating so that as many people can go see it as possible. Like the only one who felt like a real threat was Thanos. It's a very MCU kind of thing where everyone's like, I don't really care, because like by the time you figure out what their master plan is, like, we don't care, you're fighting the dead. It doesn't feel like you follow their journey, because you don't. The only villains' journey you follow are Loki's and Thanos. So I
agree.
Get it, because you had to introduce his backstory, do all of that, do the confrontation, do the resolution to the end in 90 minutes. There wasn't time.
It seems a bit fun for the villain.
I know what you mean. But that would have also made it a very different story. It would have been Gore's journey rather than Thor's journey if you focused so much on that. I know what you mean, and I do like the threat. There's no urgency to it.
There's no threat. I think the main thing is that the stakes are not high enough
that
we feel
the
stake in your heart. But like, I don't need Gore's journey. I just want to understand the stakes. So if you want to compare Thanos, like obviously Thanos has like many films to sort of get.
And Infinity was his entire film, so
it was
a very unique situation.
I don't know if Marvel's aware of what they're doing, but I feel like they're trying to make more villains that are relatable, as opposed to villains that are just dangerous.
Evil psycho. It seems since Loki, like all the villains could also kind of be like an anti-hero or a sort of a
understand why they're fine. We can understand why. But I think that leads us into a very dangerous spot where at the very end, all you have to do is just show the villain the truth, and then they're saved, and we understand, and we can sort of say, oh, don't worry about all the horrible things you've done. It's fine. You can just be good now because you choose to be, and you've seen the light, and everything is happy and funny. Fuck off. Just give me something that, just destroy them, conquer something, I don't know if that's just sort of machismo, but like the way that he ends his story as Gore, I was just like, come on, another story saved by love. Oh, love conquers all. I just want to meld into a pile of jizz. I don't know. But like, I really like how Thor just says, fine, you got it. I'm not going to waste time with you. I'm going to go. I love that. I'm going to go with Jane because this is the last moments that I've had. I'm not going to spend it with you. Great delivery. Great line. And then Gore's like, oh, maybe you were right. I'm going to choose love instead after being this horrible God Butcher character for so. Same thing with Wanda, if you think about it. Like, she's killed loads of things and suddenly she's just learning. I'm ranting a little bit, but
no,
I'm let down by the way that he was.
I understand.
He is resolved.
I think that's it's a good point. I didn't mind it as much because I less give a shit. I liked Jane's story and that kind of thing, and I took more from that than the criticism of that. And I liked him as that creepiness of like him with the kids. It was I thought that was really well done. And I got really Christian Bale. Like, I know a lot of people jizz over him because he was Batman, and I find his Batman fucking awful.
We'll talk about that another day, I think. Maybe.
But he was excellent. Oh, God, we'll have to know. There's nothing gay about Batman. Nothing.
Oh, fair enough.
Nothing gay about Batman. But no, you're right. I mean, but that's part of the problem with Marvel is that they can't create like who's a villain apart from Thanos, where the stakes were real. That were just evil, pure evil, psycho person that you
Galactus.
were actually scared. No, in the films.
Oh, in the nobody.
When have they done it well? It's the big problem with it.
I mean, Hela was done well because she was like
Oh,
she's threatening to destroy everything, you know.
and the threat was
Like
there.
and the threat was real.
She was brilliant. Yeah.
No, she was brilliant as well, and I do think Christian Bale. Like, I don't jizz over him, but I think he did really well. I think he's a very smart actor. I think he's good. I love how creepy he was. I love how dark he was, and his choices made sense. But yeah, the story was just sort of like they let down at the end. So in terms of being a villain, that's all it was. It was like he was good, but not threatening enough, not dangerous.
You get it. Yeah. I get it.
Who else was in this film? What do you think about Korg? Is Korg just a vanity character for Taika Waititi?
Absolutely.
He was creative?
Absolutely, and he's admitted that.
Oh,
he's said that many times. He's fine.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, here's his character. It's like, oh, maybe I could do it. And then for the second one, it's like, well, let's have more Korg.
Sure.
Like, do it. I don't care. It's like, oh, what accent does he have? He's going to have a New Zealand accent because that's the only one I can do.
That's what I can do. So
yeah, it was good, but it could quickly become annoying. So I don't think they should use him again.
Fine. I think that Korg's silliness was actually sort of was better wrapped up in his character than Thor was. Maybe that's because we're not expecting Korg to go on an emotional journey, but he's very clearly comic relief, and it worked.
And he's gay.
Well, all Cronins are male, apparently.
So they're all gay.
They're all gay. They're all homosexual. Thank you,
It's literally true.
Oh my gosh, is that Marvel's first confirmed gay character, Korg?
No.
He dates a dude.
Eternals.
In the films. In the MCU. Oh yeah, I suppose.
Eternals.
It was faster. Sure, whatever. It's fine. What about Valkyrie? Who do you think...
I would have liked more of her.
Was she underused, underexplored? I really like her character.
Yeah. A wee bit would have been nicer.
I like her... I like exploring more of her non-superhero side. Like, I'm with you, Val, when you're, like, bored about being king of New Asgard. And she just craves the fight, which I'm like, yeah, I can get with that. And then she has, like, in between the fight, she has, like, little heart-to-hearts with Jane or with Korg or whatever. It worked, and I wanted more.
Yeah, her TV show would be good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. New Asgard, the TV show.
Yeah, that'd be really good. Folks. The Real Housewives of New Asgard. That would be...
Who would be the characters? Val?
Who are the wives?
Who's in New...
No one's left. Everyone's dead.
Everyone's dead, yeah.
All the ones we know.
That joke went nowhere. I did get a little bit annoyed at the bait and switch of her dying. I was like, oh, they killed her. I did not expect this. And then she's like, no, she's fine.
Oh, I don't even remember that. So
she gets like in the big battle on the
yeah. She
little
gets
Zeus bolt.
Stabbed with the Zeus bolt. Yeah, that's fine.
How do you feel about Zeus as a character? I mean, was it necessary? Is this character necessary? Is this character necessary just to introduce Hercules as a companion / foil to Thor?
Yeah,
I'm just envisioning that happening. I want to see them wrestle.
I mean, I don't think. I mean, some people love the casting of Hercules.
I don't know.
I don't. He's the guy from Ted Lasso. He's English.
Okay. Aren't they all?
It's true. A lot of them are. Well, a lot of those are Australian. Zeus. I mean, I can't stand Russell Crowe, but he was a fat, stupid old Greek guy, so he was fine.
Fair enough.
And he flicked off Chris Hemsworth's clothes, so.
Yes, the only reason I mentioned Zeus because I don't have a lot of big opinions about him either. He served a function basically in the story. Is that
we saw
two buttocks that were nice.
Two buttocks.
Firm. I will say that for those 3 seconds of we see the bombs. There's a lot of acting, a lot of butt acting going on, but I didn't mind.
That's fine.
Yeah, clinch harder. Okay, Chris, we're gonna do your scene now of the flicking. So action, and we're just gonna keep rolling. Just clench a bit now. Clench your muscles. Okay, keep clenching. Clench one on each side now. Very good, and just keep clenching. We'll find some second. We'll find like 3 seconds to work. Just keep going. Clench harder. Yeah, you're working out today. And cut.
I want to know how they have these conversations because I feel even before it was kind of understood that superhero films, especially Marvel films, at least one of them, dude, there's a topless scene. Even Benedict Cumberbatch had to work out to get a topless scene. Paul Rudd has a topless scene. Like you will always have a topless scene. Yeah. That man is great. Annoyingly so, Chris Evans was only topless once in the first film. Once in all his films. Disgusting. So I wonder.
You see a lot of his arms.
Always naked. Hemsworth always naked. Each one.
Yeah.
Avengers, I'll get in a pool. Do you want me to get in a pool? Naked. Great. How much
that
of that?
He's Australian. He's just like always on this beach.
Like I wonder how much of it is directed from him because I can imagine Chris Evans being like, "No, let's not do a shirtless scene, guys. Like I don't want to do that. Like I'm having a great time, anything, but like let's not do it anymore." Whereas, do you think Hemsworth's like, I'm gonna have to get ripped because I have to look good anyway? So it's like,
totally.
Let's do a fully naked one.
I think they were like. I think Chris was like, I need to get ripped. And people are like, okay, Chris, you're fine. Like, you don't have to get ripped.
You're quite ripped as it is, Christopher. Or is it Taika? Because Taika wrote it. Like, is it him going like,
oh, they definitely had like a...
this time? Fully naked? Like, butt, I think.
Just the butt side. I think they had like a little script session. And like, so I think... Let's just play around with ideas. Like maybe when you see Zeus, like he does something to you, like maybe he ties you down. Oh, what about if he like rips my clothes off, but it goes too far? Like like I feel like I can imagine a scene of them two just like bantering back and forth with a few like other execs and just like, oh, what if he got his clothes off? Oh my gosh, that'd be so funny. I mean, would you, Chris? Chris would be like, yeah,
no, but
totally.
In every film, you're just waiting for the topless scene. Like in Ragnarok, it's like, oh, I'm getting changed. Or in Guardians of the Galaxy, it's like, oh, I'm going to change my T-shirt. Or Doctor Strange, like, I'm going to wake up in a cold sweat topless. So there must be an expectation, like, you're going to be topless in the film. Where can we put that kind of thing? But what I want to know is, like, have we pushed the boundaries now so that we can do more of this? It's like, what can we get away with now? We've seen a Hemsworth butt. Let's see his dick, I think.
We have ratings to abide by, and Disney's not going to do...
I think the streaming ratings will go very high.
And by streaming, I definitely mean liquids.
Liquids all over the place, drenched. Can you imagine if they're like, oh, there's an 18 rated version on Disney Plus, whatever, blah blah blah, but it's $15.99. $15.99. Subscribe.
That's how much money they would. Yeah.
I just want to see it.
I mean, have we had bulges? Predominant bulges in other things? I'm trying to think of like any superhero costumes that show prominent bulges. Because obviously, like female superheroes are like super tight clad. Are you typing MCU bulge on
MCU bulges? Well, obviously, like the famous kind of ones are the Spider-Mans is ones, and they're like cautious of how they have to show their bulges.
I mean, Vision kind of has a bulge, but obviously he's...
I mean, none of Vision, none of Paul Bettany was real, so that's not... That was all fake.
What are you saying? He didn't have a real gem in his forehead? That's a shame.
He didn't have pecs and abs either.
No, he's a skinny guy, isn't he?
And
I don't know why I said that.
I think mainly it's the Spider-Mans. Ooh, this brings up a very interesting question.
Who's in Lycra?
Spider-Mans. Anyway. It's just scrolling through things. Like, it would be interesting if this sets a precedent on how much we can get away with, because supposedly in Black Panther, I don't know if it's true or not, or at some point they will introduce Namor, the Submariner.
Oh, yeah.
A character who is famously wearing small clothes at all times.
I was like, where are you going with this? I thought you were going to say famously a mutant or famously what?
He is famously a mutant. Yes. He's the first mutant, but also in Speedos for the majority. Speedos. I don't want him in shorts. I'm not talking like trunks, swimming trunks or trousers. No. I want tight green Speedos with everything. And I feel like now we can kind of do that.
Yeah. Who is going to play Namor? Do we have an actor?
No idea. And it's like Wakanda Forever is supposed to be out this year. Oh. How is that possible?
Marvel, call me. I am available. I will start working out now.
It's Comic-Con next weekend, so maybe we'll get a trailer.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get so much data to jizz over. That's what next week's episode. We might have to do a two-parter again.
I'm trying to think how we'll do that.
We'll figure it out. So yeah, Namor. Who else? Who else might have
if anyone can think of some impressive MCU bulges,
yes,
please write in and let us know. I'm just scrolling through images of bulges right now, so I'm having a.
Do you need a minute?
Great time. I'm just having a great. Who is this guy?
Even if you think of dear listener, even if you think of one that's not directly MCU, if it's like Marvel adjacent, like the Netflix shows or
oh god, yeah, any of it. No, I haven't seen many bulges.
I'll do it later. I'll do it later when I'm watching Disney Dark. And Disney After Dark.
No, they've managed to sidestep a lot of the bulging. Well,
no, poor thing.
That's disgusting.
Poor us.
The Deep. Remember that?
In The Boys.
Chase Crawford. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which can't be like. I mean, it could be real, but it was very obviously staged, which is brilliant. I love it. That was fantastic.
Let's talk about the end credit, the end credit scenes. What do we want to? So basically, I forget which one's which. Is it the Valhalla one that's like kind of mid? Yeah, the Valhalla one is mid credits. We see. I
think it's the other way around.
Heimdall. Are you sure?
No, but I think it's the other way around. I think Hercules is mid credits and Jane is post credits. It doesn't matter. They're both there.
I literally watched the show like 2 days ago, and I don't remember which was which. That's so bizarre.
You could be right. I could be wrong. I might well be wrong.
Let's talk about Valhalla because we saw Idris Elba as Heimdall. Great. I love seeing him again.
Yes.
And it makes me think of all these sort of afterworlds that exist in the Marvel continuity. You've got the Moon Knight afterworld. What was it called? With Towerette, and then you've in the ship, and you've got like the ancestral plane from Black Panthers, and you've got like now you've got this Valhalla. Like, what does it mean about what happens to people in the MCU? Because I know that there's like whatever your real life idea of a soul is. We do have souls in the MCU because there's a soul stone that is used, and everyone has a soul, and it goes somewhere after you die. So, does that mean that they can come back, or do they just exist in a different sort of realm? I don't know.
I don't think they're going to go too deeply into it, though. Do you? Because it's a little bit dangerously close to religion.
Yeah. Well, it is, isn't it? Because
it's the whole point of religion.
Yeah. Yes. Well, it's a very sort of big part of the faith. So, I guess the only way that people don't really come back from that except unless it's part of the story, like in Moon Knight. Like, I think that maybe it's just a way of sort of sending off characters. This character's mortal journey is over. Now everything's fine. It is definitely just sort of religious, isn't it?
I mean, it is religion. It'll also be weird because, like, no one she knows will be there. Like, none of her family or friends are Asgardian, so no one will be in Valhalla. So she's just by herself for eternity. That's why I don't like the afterlife. It creeps me out. Eternity is creepy. So, but
fair enough.
Yes, it was nice. That's my religious opinions. It was just nice, sweet. Just like she's okay. Blah blah blah. But let's not.
Hero's End, which she totally deserves. What about the other post-credit scene? How do you feel about that?
Well, like I feel the nerd people have been clamoring for Hercules for a long time, and I'm not really sure why.
Yeah.
Because is the character that interesting? I mean, not really.
Well, you tell me, because he's if he is, he's only going to be from the comics. I don't know anything about
Yeah, he's
Hercules Marvel
a
movie.
long-standing Avenger, but in
Oh,
the
really?
same
See, I didn't
way,
even know that.
yeah. He's been in it for ages, but I don't know if I give a shit. You know, he's just like
See,
he is more like, well, I don't know if I may be wrong. I'm not perfect, not complete. I feel like his character is a lot how Thor's been portrayed in the films. Like he's very much the beer swilling, let's go fight, party going kind of god.
Mhm.
There's no stress about it. Like everything's awesome, that sort of thing. I feel like we've done that to death, and if they change it so that he's serious and hunts down Thor, I was like, well, that's not really like him. And do we need that? I don't know. Cool if people are excited about it, but I don't.
I would like Hercules, because I do think he's. I don't know anything about this actor, but he does seem like an attractive guy. I would love for him to sort of obviously beef up and go hunt down Thor, and then realize that Thor's a good guy, and then have like big old bear hugs and maybe a wrestling match and have some beers together. I'll watch
He
that.
looks a little bit more like Craven the Hunter because
What
Hercules is
does? Yeah.
just drawn impossibly huge. Like in the comics, he's as wide as he is tall, kind of thing. So they were never going to find a realistic human to do that. So now he just looks like a skinny, hairy Greek guy, which he's not. I mean, he is hairy Greek, but he's not skinny. But it's a difficult,
Yeah.
you know, he's wider than Thor, and no one's going to be like that. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know what they're going to do with his character that's interesting that they haven't done a lot of times before. But you know what? Prove me wrong, Marvel. I'll still watch
prove me
it.
wrong. Yeah. Well, the only reason that I mean, they didn't call me. I am 1 inch taller than Chris Hemsworth, reportedly. So, and I'm quite broad. We could have had a toe-to-toe. It's a shame, Marvel. You missed your chance. But anyway, we'll see. Is that actor like tall or anything? Or
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know anything about him. I'll have to look him up later. Where is Thor going from here now? What's next?
Is he getting another film? Is he gonna be in more stuff? Because I'm fine with
Has
that.
there been any? Well, he's not going to disappear now. He's going to be in at least like another sort of Avengers film or whatever whenever they need him for a story. But I have no idea. Has there been anything?
The thing is that the next
No.
Avengers film, if they do an Avengers film which is Secret Wars, it won't be anything like the typical. Here's the baddie, set it up, here we fight. It'll
Yeah.
be so bonkers and different that he can be in it and it can be different and interesting. Hopefully,
We'll get to see. I mean, we have so many characters now in the Marvel universe. It's the MCU. It's like the way that they long term planned a character like Thanos, and they slowly realized that we can make this a thing. Like that can be like the time or space stone, whatever, whichever one it was. That one can be that we can start pulling these elements in. I don't feel like there's anything like that right now at the moment. Like we're calling it Phase 4, but what's the overarching connection here now? Is there one?
yeah, what happened in Phase 1? Thanos wasn't Phase 1.
No.
You saw him at the end of, you saw him a bit in Avengers, but the whole point of Phase 1 was establishing these characters and how they work in an interconnected universe.
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing again. They have to restock with different characters and different stories and different ways of looking at heroes, hopefully, so that we're not doing the same thing over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Because we've done that for 11, 12 years or whatever.
Fair enough.
Yeah, they can't go straight into another huge one, otherwise it'll feel not earned. We
need time to sort of breathe from the, a new generation of cinema goers, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I think we've done Thor through and through.
Wish.
What? You wish? Yeah,
I wish.
I do.
It could do me through. All the way through. So before we wrap up on Thor: Love and Thunder, we're going to have a brief, a very, very quick delve into the world of Thor to find out whom we would smash in Smash or Pass Thor edition.
I'm just laughing because it was like
I'm trying to figure out how to
where
do that.
where this sentence was going.
No idea. That's where it went. That's what you got. Bitch.
So this is going to be just an order of credits because why not? So Smash or Pass, Thor.
Smash.
I was gonna wait. I was like, "Why are you hesitating?" But you're drinking your thing. I didn't notice.
Drinking
yeah, obviously Smash. Smash or Pass, Gore the God Butcher.
I'm gonna pass. He's got weird teeth. He's got weird teeth.
Yeah, oh yeah, I didn't think about the teeth. I'll say Smash because I wanted to tell you some stories. Creepy. I just love the creepiness. It's something about him.
Fair.
Smash or Pass, Valkyrie.
Smash.
I'll smash it. Now, next in the order of credits, Smash or Pass is Sif. Lady Sif? Yeah.
Smash.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. Smash. I will say as well, I was like, why is she in this film? I thought she died. But she didn't die in Ragnarok. It was just the other ones who were sort of like ruthlessly slaughtered. She wasn't in the film. I don't know where she was, but she wasn't there. She's still around.
Oh, she wasn't in Ragnarok, but all the others were wiped out.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Smash or Pass, Korg.
Smash.
Yeah, smash it.
I did a lot of lube, but whatever. We'll figure it out.
It would be a bit rough, I think. It would be a bit rough.
Yeah, we'll make it work. It's fine.
I don't think he would have any problems getting hard, though.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Anything else you want to add to it?
Perfect. No, that's perfect as it is. Perfect as it is.
Smash or Pass, Zeus.
Pass.
Yeah, pass. I'm passing. Smash or Pass, Jane Foster.
Smash.
Yeah, smash. I'll do that. We're gonna skip the Guardians of the Galaxy because this is not their movie. Go away. Unless you want to. Smash.
Yeah.
How about this? Smash or Pass all the Guardians of the Galaxy as one unit.
No, because I don't want to smash him. So.
No. Okay, fine. We'll pass. I'll pass as well. Smash or Pass. Now we're gonna do Smash or Pass the actors who portray the Asgardians on stage. So first, Matt Damon, who plays like the Asgardian Loki in the black suit. Remember that, Matt Damon?
Yes, I remember Matt Damon. I will smash the character, but I don't want to smash Matt Damon.
Right. We're smashing characters, and if we're smashing characters, I'm gonna say pass because you should never date an actor or smash them.
True.
But how about Smash or Pass Sam Neill, who plays the Asgardian?
Smash.
Yeah, smash.
Smash.
He's like one of these old actors. You can sort of let him go. So who's Smash or Pass? Luke Hemsworth, who plays
Smash
Thor, the
Smash
stage Thor. I'll smash as well. Smash or Pass?
Smash.
The stage actress playing Hela, Melissa McCarthy.
I love her.
I love her too.
Good.
I love her.
I'll smash. Why not? Yeah.
Smash or Pass Meek. Do you remember who that is? She apparently is not there very much, but she's around. You like aliens?
No, I do like aliens, but she's quite insecty, isn't she?
Yeah. And I think there'd be. I'm going to pass as well because there's a bit of difficulty with communication.
It's a fear with the eggs. Yeah.
You want to have your eggs laid. Smash or Pass, Darcy.
Smash. I love Darcy. Why doesn't she have her own show? You don't?
No, I'll pass. I'll pass her.
Okay.
She's friend material. She's definitely getting friend zoned by me. Smash or Pass, Eric Selvig.
Oh yeah, smash.
For the brain or what? Brain?
He's the Skarsgård, right?
Yeah.
Daddy Skarsgård. Daddy Skarsgård. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I'll go for it. I'll smash it as well. Smash or Pass, Heimdall.
Oh my god. Smash, please.
Yeah, totally smash. Now here's a weird one. Very small appearance, but maybe you don't remember Smash or Pass, Dionysus.
I remember them saying Dionysus because I played the character for my A-level drama.
Mm-hmm.
Do not remember
I would not have.
what they look like.
I do not recognize.
Are they hard? I'd smash them.
No. Well, I mean, I remember watching the credits because I'm an actor nerd like that. I do. And I remember seeing Simon Russell Beale, and I was like, "Hang on, he's a very famous actor. Why do I not remember who he would have played? Was he like heavily makeup or something?" Turns out he played Dionysus, who is like one line as like a he says like Zeus makes a joke when he says "Good one, Dad" or something like that. He's an older actor.
That's true.
But what are you looking up?
Simon Russell Beale.
Yeah, he's.
Then probably not Smash.
Yeah, we'll pass it.
Sorry,
But like,
Simon.
what about Smash or Pass? The god at the beginning who gets slain by Gore, the first one.
Oh yeah, he's a piece of shit. Yeah, probably Smash.
Yeah, Smash him. He's silly.
I imagine he'd be a dick, but he'd also probably have like some good drugs or. Like,
yeah, I mean, if I had the opportunity, I totally would. And Smash or Pass Hercules. This is the crux.
I mean, yeah, I still will.
Obviously. I would totally.
I'll critique his potential performance, but I'll still smash.
Come at me, Hercules. I'll definitely smash that as well. And that's it. There you have it. We did a complete episode about Thor. I'm very happy with how that went. What did we miss out? Did we miss any sort of mentions about Thor? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Were there parts that you enjoyed that we didn't talk about?
And are we talking total crap? You know.
Are we completely wrong?
Projecting our own things off, and you're like, it's not true. That's not what happened at all, you idiot.
What were your expectations?
Yeah, let us know. You can email us incompletegeekspodcast@gmail.com. You can find me on Twitter @NickBakerGeek. John is on Instagram. I'm not going to spell it because I spelled it wrong last time. John is on Instagram @JohnMarks JONNARX.
That's correct, yeah.
On Instagram. He is posting holiday pics, so
yeah,
there will be sun selfies and topless beach pics there. Please get in touch. Do let us know. We would love to find out if there's something you want us to talk about, something you want us to cover, a geekery that we haven't explored properly yet. We are still trying to figure this out. We are geeks, but we are not complete geeks.
But we are working on it. Thanks for listening.
Bye.